Hi, this video is for anybody who was interested in learning my tips and tricks to growing tomato plants. So let's get started. Okay, so I wrote all my tips and tricks on a pad just to make sure I remembered all of them. So as you can see, the first one is egg in the hole. So we're gonna start by making our hole, and we're gonna make it right there. And eggs like to be buried deep, so we're gonna make a big hole, like so. That should be good. Yeah. Okay. And so, as you saw, the first tip is egg in the hole, and it means exactly that. You put an egg in the hole. But I've actually read in the comments that sometimes, because the actual root of the tomato plant is supposed to crack the egg in there and just suck up all the nourishment, but I read in the comments that for some gardeners the tomato root never breaks the egg, and then so the next year they just find rotten eggs in their garden. So some people actually like to make a little hole like that, and then they will just put it in the ground to make it easier for the root to get into it. But what I like to do is just fully crack it and drop it in there, and then I throw in the shells because obviously it's compost. So then after we do that, we're gonna get our tomato. This is just a starter cherry tomato. And we're going to take it out gently by squeezing it, and then we're going to find the face of the plant. So as you can see, this one's facing forward to get all the sunlight. So if we put it this way, it's going to be backwards, so just put it facing the sun. Right now the light keeps going on and off, the clouds keep covering the light, so sorry for the lighting. And we're going to put it, and obviously we want to put it a little bit deeper, just because that's what tomatoes like. And then we're gonna start pushing the soil around it, making sure our plant is nice and straight, like so. Make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, so after we do that, we're gonna be the next one is to cut off the suckers. This one actually does not have suckers, but the suckers would be the ones between the branch of the plant and the stem of the plant. So they would be right here in this little corner. And the reason why you want to cut off the suckers is just because it's going to take energy away from the plant. So if the plant is trying to grow this little sucker, it's not going to use its energy to grow bigger, taller, and obviously grow more fruit. So you definitely want to cut off the suckers. Again, this one doesn't have any, but you have to keep checking on them, and as soon as you see one, just pluck it out, because it's just going to waste its energy trying to grow it out, and you really don't need it. Next one is to cut the bottom leaves. The bottom leaves are the ones most prone to getting infection. So when you water it, if it gets splashed back and it gets muddy water and it stays moist, it's just going to be bad for the plant in general. The bottom leaves are the ones who are more likely to get sick first. So you always want to cut those. This one is pretty high, so I'm not going to cut this one, but this one's probably the lowest one. So I'm just going to go with my scissors, plant scissors, and just cut it. Okay, so like that. Obviously the plant is still little, but as soon as it gets a little bit bigger, I would probably also cut this one and this one. You want to have the most stem right here, and then obviously let your plant flourish in the top. But again, right now it's still little, so I'm gonna leave this one to help it grow. But other than that, as soon as it gets bigger, I would cut this one and this one off, but right now we're gonna leave them. Okay, so next step is to water them in the morning. You always want to water them in the morning, because if the plants were ever to get splashed back, you want it to have enough time to dry off, and also for the soil to soak up all the water. You don't want to leave it wet at night. One more. Okay, so when you water it, again, you want to just get a watering can and just focus all your water on the root. Before, I would think the whole plant needed water, especially like in a hot day. So what I would do is just kind of like wet everything. But now I know better. So just focus on the root. That's the only part that needs to suck up the water. Let me see. Okay, so there's that. Okay, I'll take it away. Okay, so the next step is to give them support. So as you see, my plant is right here. Let me back up a little bit. Okay, I don't know if you could quite see them, but my husband built the raised bed, which is this one, and then he built kind of like attached little wires to the sides. I can't really see them. Okay, so it's this, and there's a bunch of them. So as the plant gets bigger, you would attach to all of them. So right now the plant is right there, but as soon as it could reach this wire, I would help it by using gardening tape to attach the plant to the wire, or you could just use, I think it's just kind of like a special plant wire to attach this wire to the other wire and the plant. But yeah, and then so as soon as it gets to this wire, I would attach it. As soon as it gets to this wire, again, attach it, and this one, and so on and so forth. But right now it's still pretty low, so we'll just leave it for now. Let's see. Okay, so after give them support, I talked about pruning and just kind of cutting the lower branches. So you don't want to give it lower branches, and again, every time you see a sucker, just go ahead and pluck those out. Those are pretty easy. You can kind of just pinch them off with your finger. And then also, if you have like sick plants or yellow plants or plants who have bug bites, you kind of want to cut those off also. But you never want to cut off the top of your tomato. As soon as you cut off the top of your tomato, it's pretty much going to stop growing. It's just going to take care of whatever it has going on. So if it has any blooms, it would blossom them and grow them into tomatoes. And if it has like little baby tomatoes, it would ripen them for you, but it would stop growing. It would stop giving you height. So you never want to cut off the top unless winter's coming and you have a couple baby tomatoes that you want it to focus its energy on. So then you would cut off the top, and then the plant would just kind of focus in ripening those tomatoes, for example, if winter's coming. But other than that, you want to leave this alone, because you definitely want your plant to keep growing taller and obviously more fruit. But that's pretty much it. Last year was our first year growing cherry tomatoes. I think we had 3 plants of cherry tomatoes. This year we have 6. This one is a Sugar Rush, and again, it's a cherry tomato. This is our first year growing it, but we also have this one, which is a SUNGOLD. Oops, there, it's not focusing. Hold on. It's a SUNGOLD. These ones are more like orangey. These were Sophia's favorite last year, so we decided to bring it back. And then some peppers. This is some lavender that was in the front yard, but we're trying to see if it works better. These are some marigold flowers that we planted from seeds, and again, there's more. And another pepper, and this one actually looks like it has some blossoms. But this year we have 6 cherry tomato plants. And so when winter's coming, if it has a bunch of little baby cherry tomatoes, I probably will try topping it off to help it grow the tomatoes faster. Again, I didn't do that last year. This was a brand new tip I just learned, so I'll be trying that. But that was pretty much it. So And again, these tips work for any tomato plant, not just cherry tomatoes. These are just my kiddos' favorites, so this is what I'm working with. But again, these tips work for any tomato plant. So I hope you guys try these tips. Hopefully I didn't forget any. If I did, please feel free to add them in the comments. I'm hoping I didn't forget anything. Or if you have any tips of your own, feel free to add them and help me out. But that was pretty much it. Hope you guys liked it. And thank you for watching. Bye.